What's up, guys? And today I am back with another Total Drama video. It's been like 7 days. I don't even have an excuse anymore. So today I am doing a season I've been wanting to do for a while. Total Drama Winners at War. It's basically just all the winners. The first episode, aka 18th place. So I'd say that the Rowan Raccoons will fucking lose because they just have shitty old people on it. So I think that Jeff and Brody will obviously team up because they're bros. Owen is alone. I feel like Sky and Beth will create a friendship, and Heather and Bowie would team up, and they would invite Lightning because he's fucking stupid. And Mikey's alone. Owen and Mike are alone. And I feel like that Heather would try and get Beth out, mainly because Heather would still have some beef with Beth because of season 2, even though it was a long ass time ago. So I feel like these three would vote Beth. These two would vote Heather. I think Heather would be able to convince probably Mike to vote Beth and maybe Owen. And that's 5 votes for Beth. And honestly, I'd say Beth's out of here. So, episode 2, or 17th place. Next team losing is going to be... Honestly, the Rowan Raccoons probably would suck pretty bad at the challenges. Mainly because Lightning. Because Lightning did actually cost them the first challenge. And he's going to cost them again on this challenge. These 5 have just had enough of Lightning. So 5 to 3. And then Lightning's out of here. Alright, so episode 3. So this is when I think that the Rowan Raccoons would win. So Gwen and Duncan, they aren't really friends anymore. So Gwen makes a friendship with Sanders and Priya. And Zoe's a part of that as well. But MacArthur wants to branch off from Sanders. She wants to join with like Duncan. And Duncan also tries to get Cameron on board because he actually kind of likes Cameron. And Alejandro is alone. He's on the outs. So honestly, I feel like that Gwen and Zoe would just have enough of Alejandro. And Priya's smart, so I think these 4 would vote Alejandro. Sean, I don't know who the fuck he's voting. Probably MacArthur because she looks like a zombie. And these 3 would probably vote Gwen. No, not Gwen. I think these 3 would vote probably Priya because she's a big threat. And I think Alejandro will be on board with that. So it's a 4-4 tie. And between Alejandro and Priya, that's a pretty close match, honestly. But I do think that Priya will get out. Mainly because just Alejandro has more going for him. Alright, so episode 4, I feel like the Rowan Raccoons would lose because they're just bad. And this is where I think that like these 3 create the Dudes Alliance. This little Dudes Alliance. It's a Chill Guys Alliance. I feel like Sky would have to go over to Heather because Heather wants to go for Sky, but Sky wants to make an opportunity for them, and he was about the Dudes Alliance. And Heather agrees to it, and they vote Brody. And Sky convinces Mike to vote for Brody as well, so Brody is out of here, I think. So, episode 5, this is where I think that the Rowan Raccoons will lose once again. Because they're just so fucking bad. So, I feel like this is where Heather just betrays Sky and like Sky just gets out. I feel like these two would vote for Sky because Heather pins it on Sky that's how Brody got out. But Mike sees through this and she's on board with Sky, but Sky's already out. So yeah. So episode 6. Now this is when I think the Rowan Raccoons would actually win again. And this, now Sean is the swing vote because like these 4 are winning right, or like in the little alliance. Alejandro's joined. Cameron's not so sure. And Duncan will kind of follow Cameron because Duncan likes Cameron. Because Duncan's sort of a good guy now. Ever since, this is after All Stars, obviously. So yeah. Duncan's kind of a good guy now. But Cameron would probably want to vote for Sean or Sandoz. And Duncan would probably agree with that because Sean's weird. Alejandro would probably want to vote Sean since fucking Sean is very skilled, and MacArthur would want to vote Sean because Sean voted for her last time. So I feel like this is where Sean would probably get out. These 3 would vote Alejandro, and then Sean would probably vote MacArthur again. I actually forgot it was a double elimination. Alright. So, I switched to double elimination because I'm a dumbass. So, both teams lose here. So, now, Cameron doesn't really want to vote off anyone. And MacArthur definitely doesn't want to vote Sandoz. Alejandro wants to vote Zoe because Zoe's very skilled. And fucking dumb. And MacArthur would follow up with him and vote Zoe because she doesn't want to vote Sandoz, and no one really wants to vote Gwen. Duncan doesn't want to vote. Well, he probably would want to vote Gwen. He doesn't really want to vote Zoe. Cameron definitely would want to vote Sandoz. So the alliance is very split here, and they can't decide on anything. And then this is where Duncan goes over to these 4 and tells them to vote. Well, actually, no. Sandoz is away. She's talking to MacArthur. And then Duncan gets these 2 alone and wants to vote for MacArthur because she's weird. And she's just really fucking weird. And they agree. And then he throws Cameron in this, and then they vote MacArthur off. But also Sandoz finds out about this and leaves the alliance, but it doesn't really matter because like there's 4 of them. And the Rowan Raccoons, this is where Bowie finally pulls off something smart and exposes Heather. And then it's pretty obvious, Heather gets out 4-1. So this is what merges. We've finally made it to merge. A lot of girls have been voted off. There's only 3 left out of the 10 people that are left. So we can just delete the teams. So yeah, who do I think is gonna win immunity? Well, I can't really base it off of like really anything because I didn't really do any think of any challenges for this. So do you know what? I'm just gonna go do a random number generator. Let's spin it. And it's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sandoz wins immunity. Alright. So Sandoz has immunity. So these are the alliances right now. So the alliances are Owen and Jeff. These basically these 4 on the outs. These 4 on the outs, and then these 4 have their alliance. So I feel like Mike would be dragged into this alliance. Duncan is skeptical though, because he still thinks that Miles in there. But Mike assures him, but he's still pretty skeptical. Alejandro wants to get Mike out because Mike, Mike humiliated him on television or TV, reality TV, whatever the fuck. So I feel like he gets Bowie and he would get Sandoz to vote for Mike. Now these 5 are probably going to end up voting for Alejandro. But Owen and Jeff, would they vote with Alejandro? Honestly, I feel like Alejandro or they would vote for Alejandro after they tell these two about a 5-person alliance, which can have majority. So these five vote for Mike, and then these 5 vote for Alejandro. And Mike and Alejandro have a little showdown. And I actually think that Mike would win this. I definitely think Alejandro would probably actually lose this. Even though Mike doesn't have his multiple personalities, he has the skills of them still. So he's kind of like Priya in a sense. He has the skills of his multiple personalities. So he could honestly probably win it. But Alejandro, it'd be very close though. So, alright, it's 9. Zoe was immunity. No, Zoe's gonna go on a streak of immunities now. So Zoe wants immunity. So they have majority right now. So I feel like they would end up voting. These 5 are gonna start picking people off one by one. I feel like they would honestly vote Sandoz for betraying them. So yeah, Sandoz just goes because the alliance is just gonna start picking people off. Number generator 2. Jeff wins immunity. Alright. I feel like Bowie would pull something. These 3 have an alliance now. I feel like he would pull something. He would bring Duncan over and tell them about Mal. He would not believe it at first, but then as Bowie starts to tell him more about like some stuff he's seen, then Duncan starts to believe it, and then these 4 vote Mike. These 4 vote for, honestly, probably Bowie. They would vote Bowie now, because he's a villain. Probably the last villain left. So then this is when was a tie between Bowie and Mike, and I think Bowie would honestly win. So Mike is gone. So Duncan is a swing vote right now. So Duncan is the swing vote. Who's gonna win immunity though? Jeff again. So Jeff wins immunity again. And Duncan is more the swing vote right now. Who is he gonna side with? Is he gonna side with the people he sided with most of the time, or is he gonna side with these 3? I honestly think Duncan will think more of the game right now, and he would swing with these guys and vote Gwen out, because they were originally gonna vote for Zoe, but he convinced them to vote for Gwen. So I think that's where Gwen goes. So who's winning immunity? Zoe wins immunity again. So Duncan has to vote off Cameron. And he doesn't want to do that. He wanted to vote Zoe off, and then he would try and help Cameron win immunity. So they're going to vote Cameron off, but he doesn't want to. So I feel like he would side with these 3 again. But then Zoe, Cameron is happy to see Duncan back over, but I feel like Zoe will come over here and convince these 3, or will tell them that Duncan's siding with them. They decide to vote for Duncan. These 4 vote for Duncan, and Cameron and Duncan vote for Bowie. So Cameron is pissed at Zoe for voting fucking Duncan off. Zoe, a fucking villain. So the person who wins immunity, oh, what a coinky dink. Bowie wins immunity. So Bowie wins immunity, and honestly, I feel like Zoe would quit because of her guilt. She would quit, and Cameron like just didn't want anything to do with her. But they make up at the end of the episode. Bowie wins immunity again. This is amazing. Oh my god, Bowie getting the Heather season 1 plot armor right now. Bowie doesn't think Cameron's a threat, so he would side with Cameron, and Cameron can't really do anything. So Cameron just has to listen to Bowie. They decide to vote Jeff off because Jeff's just more of a threat. Between Cameron and Jeff, for the plot, Cameron's gonna win. So Jeff gets out. I'm not lying. It just landed on Bowie. Bowie wins immunity and can choose who's bringing to the finale, and he brings Cameron because he still thinks Cameron is less of a threat. And who do I think is the true winner? Well, any of them could be the true winner, but who do I think is the true winner? Winnow, fucking hell, my English. Cameron. Mainly because Cameron's just the GOAT. Like, you can't bring Cameron to the finale, give him an underdog story, an even better one than Revenge of the Island ever had, in my opinion, and make him lose the Bowie. You can't just do that to him. You can't do that to my boy. So yeah, this is how I think Winners at War would go down. Everyone loves to vote it, Lightning and Beth and Brody. Like, they like to vote off these guys so early, well, excluding Priya, but like they like to vote off these 5 like so early.